Hiya, I'm Madeline. I'm here reviewing for the Bristol Shakespeare Festival. I'm here with Bright Theatre. Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
They're from Exeter, yeah? And you are doing, what's the name of your play?
Shakespeare in Hell.
Lovely, oh, I like it. So, you're all master's students, is that right?
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the only one that's not.
So where did the idea for this project come from? Because I've never heard of this before.
Well, as part of our course, we had a module called Versioning Shakespeare, where we basically took Shakespeare and did all kinds of heretical things with it. And one of our assignments was a mashup. And for that, I created the scene, which was our first scene in this, which was a mashup of Dr. Faustus and The Tempest, where Ariel drags Prospero to hell.
Oh.
And at the same time, Cole wrote one that was Ophelia and Juliet in Purgatory. Yeah. And so we had this common hell theme. And then
You had a common hell.
as you do.
Nice.
And there was an opportunity for an award called the Cymbeline Fund came up. And we thought, well, what piece can we do that we could apply for this funding for? And we have this common hell interest. Why don't we take this scene, let's expand on this idea. And then
Definitely.
Cole had the great idea of bringing Dante into it. So we used the structure of Dante's Inferno and a lot of the text from that to make it the 9 circles of hell and the different Shakespearean characters you might meet in there, unexpected duos.
Oh, that's good fun. So did you follow sort of the structure of the 9 circles and then fit the characters to it? Is that how that worked?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, fun.
With Dana as well, we had a little pub discussion about now who would be where and who would be together.
Nice.
Clash. Yeah, it would work well in a really horrible way.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how long? I was there yesterday. That was quite an intricate and long script. How did that work? How long did it take? What was the process?
It was actually relatively quick. The concept came together easily, so to speak, but the whole mashing of it was a whole series of cut and paste. But what we did, which is really weird for me as a writer, was we had the first 2 scenes, and then like a couple of days before we rehearsed the 3rd scene, I would make that scene, rehearse it, then go, oh, what can I do in the next scene? So it's all written in basically relation to what happened in rehearsals with the former bits. So everything builds on itself.
Oh, nice.
So it wasn't an entire script and then we rehearsed that. It was one scene, rehearse that. What's the next scene? Oh, okay. And then move on.
Oh wow, how long did that take?
5 weeks maybe?
It was a remarkably rapid process.
Very
Really?
quick, yeah.
Huh.
You asked us to do it in
You were
October
writing scenes in a
or
night.
something.
Yeah.
You were writing scenes on the night, did you say?
A night.
Oh, in a night.
The night before rehearsal, she'd be like, yeah, I got half of it done, I'll have it for you tomorrow.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But they responded very well to that. Most actors would go, but they were up for it. And it's always changing with every festival that we do. We don't only adapt it to each space, we also try to see what we can do better with the text.
Interesting. So this is not your first space then, I take it?
No.
Oh, where else have you gone? Because it works really well in here. I can't imagine it anywhere else.
Our first performance was
in Robert Studios in
Back in December.
Yeah.
which
Oh,
was,
gosh, okay.
Like the big studio spaces, but we used the whole thing, so we used the corridor outside and we used these 2 spaces that were linked together. We let people around that.
And then we were in the Raw Festival at the Northcott Theatre in Exeter. And then we were at the Exeter Phoenix as well.
Right, okay, that's nice. Oh, that's good
So
fun.
we've been like in massive, amazing theatres and tiny studio spaces. And,
Yeah.
But this
I take it you're...
this is like our perfect fit.
Well, I can see it with the bars and everything, and the creepy kind of echoey aspect of it. That's perfect.
It fits the piece perfectly.
Do you find that like the echo, the sort of the ambience of it makes diction difficult? Do you have to sort of alter how you perform it?
We have really, we focused on diction and made a feature of the acoustics. Because whatever it is that is so specific about each space, you have to use that to your advantage and make a feature of it, even if it is all the single ladies playing out.
Has that happened?
Today.
Oh, God.
So you use what you've got. And make it work for you. Yeah.
The sirens, they could double as screams. I could see that. It sort of works.
It transforms sound. So was it the Pride March that was going by? There was this incredible cacophony happening. It was amazing. And you can't plan for things like that.
No. Oh, wow.
But it's amazing.
Well, then, good job improvising with it, because when I saw it, it worked perfectly, so well done you.
Thank you.
I'm seeing a lot of very intricate costumes. Who came up with that plan?
That's all. Mostly mine. The only costume that is, we were discussing this, I think the only piece that isn't mine is your dress that you wear for Juliet, which you already had.
Yep. Nice.
What we tried to do was make it a simple sort of uniform of the sort of natural coloured shirt and black trousers. Yeah. And then featured bits that add on to give the character. So for Richard, I've got a piece of shoulder armour. Brutus has got this thing, belt and greaves.
I wondered about the shoulder armour. Is that handmade or?
No, I got it from the Viking store.
Nice.
Other Viking stores are available. I don't know. You're supposed to.
Probably it's
vikingstore.co.uk. For all your armour needs.
Oh goodness.
I'm very attached to it.
I can understand.
All this business is in various places.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Going off on Ariel's sort of mention of the island, I like how you made a mention of the island being yours when you're performing in the island. They just clicked it. That is perfect.
It's a fun one to say.
Definitely.
This is our perfect space. Yeah.
How many? Will each of you tell me your favourite scene? Do you have one? Is that a terrible question to ask?
I think it would have to be your favourite scene to watch or experience, and then your favourite scene to be in.
In that order, then?
Watch or I'm not in any of them proper, so I can probably. Well, except I guess the one I'm in proper is the first scene, so that one. And then to watch. I love to watch a lot of them, but particularly in this space, the Lady Mac Goneril fight.
That is a good one.
It suits this space so well, and it just really came alive.
Yeah. I can see what you mean by this not being child appropriate at all. There's rather a lot of violence. Is that I can imagine it's heavily choreographed, but how does that feel doing that every day? 3 times.
I love violence.
Oh, good.
It's funny because I say good.
She says with massive rings of dark around her eyes. Yeah, I'm not going to back away very, very slowly.
They really like to give me the weapons. Normally my favourite to perform is Richard, but I think you're right about Goneril and Lady M in this space.
Yeah.
To have this corridor to play with and to re-choreograph the fight for this corridor has been so much fun.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw those cell doors, I was like, I have to have my head banged against one of those.
The fight is a lot more violent than it used to be, and it's something.
Oh, okay.
Really,
so it's escalated then.
It's escalated.
Space has brought it out in you.
I'd say that is probably my favourite scene to do.
Yeah.
I think it's so nasty.
Your Scottish accent was quite good as well. I jumped into it, I was like, this works, yay.
Thank you very much.
It's very rare to run into a Macbeth performance where the director's gone, we're all going to go Glaswegian, and everyone's like, really? Can we not just focus on the script, please?
I think I said that to you on the first day. I said, because I think I read it out in my own voice originally, my own natural speaking voice, and then I just said, just try it with a Scottish accent. And you said, and I think afterwards you just said, keep it. And then it's just stayed forever.
More favorites?
I love performing Falstaff.
You looked like you were having fun there.
But also, I think it's also one of the few chances that I have to really interact with an audience member on a really intimate level, because we're in so much darkness and so much low light,
to be able to have that close, intimate contact with the audience, I think, is really engaging. But I also really like watching, especially here, the Shylock scene with all four of us, because it's the only opportunity that we have to do a scene all together. But then transitioning from inside to outside in the middle of the scene, I think, is really an interesting thing. It's tricky to try to figure out how you're going to get your audience members to follow you, and what you do while you're waiting for people to come outside. So exactly. But I think it's really interesting to see what's happening. I noticed today there was a man, as soon as I started speaking some of the lines, he went, in recognition of what was actually going on, and then to get an audible reaction yesterday from the audience when the witches started to come out was really interesting. So I do like that.
It was also the first time we'd used actual fire as well. We'd never done that before.
Oh, that was. I wondered what I want. This is my shocked face. Oh wow, Chris, I noticed that you mentioned that you really liked playing Shylock, and we spoke about this yesterday. But I'd love to hear it on tape because you said that you don't see Shylock as a villain, and yet he's shown up in your piece here.
Yeah, and we actually kind of discussed this a little bit as well, that he doesn't really know why he's here. And so it's really interesting to place a character who's a little bit more ambiguous about his sins, I guess, in hell, because in Shylock's brain he is justified in his behavior, and he has been treated unfairly, and he has been treated unkindly by a lot of other people. And so he doesn't know why he's here. He doesn't recognize where he is. He's still kind of back in the land of the living. And so I've never thought of Shylock as a villain, actually. That he's just, he just believes that he's right. And so that's, I think, where it's really interesting to kind of play some of the nuances of that character are. To not play him completely evil. He's just determined, and he believes that he's right. He still hasn't registered that what's going on in hell is supposed to be torture for him until witches show up.
And this is why we have this sort of variety of characters, some that are irredeemable and some that maybe shouldn't be there. And to make the audience think about dogma, about tradition, about would they go to hell if these laws were really, these things were really applied. It's not so black and white. It gives people something to think about.
Sometimes it's a question that you feel like asking the audience afterwards. Like if I were to ask the audience anything, I'd say, who do you think really deserves to be there, and who does not deserve to be there?
And where do you draw the line?
And what people would say, would a lot of people say similar answers? Would people say different answers?
I mean, Richard II, does he really belong?
Falstaff.
Falstaff.
Henry.
Bruce.
Henry belongs here.
Although, you probably could get Lady Macbeth out on like an insanity charge. So I was
cray.
She's a little bit psychotic, that one. But I was definitely wandering around. I could see how these people in their various scripts were definitely, blameworthy, but some of them, they just end up a bit mad, and I'm like, okay, well, can you be blamed for your mental state at that point?
Well, and what's interesting too, I think, is that nobody is really repentant. Like, we all are trying to find ways to justify why we shouldn't be there, and why we were wronged, or why we were taken advantage of in the living.
Leontes is the only one that really regrets all of this.
That's the scene as an observer, a scene I'm not involved in, to watch that really moves me.
That scene makes my eyes well up every time, because when I'm
getting ready to be Marco and Brutus Smith out
we're getting ready, and in this case in the cells to play the parts. I mean, I'm sitting there in the cell on my own, and I can hear you in the distance sounding so unhappy, and then I hear this baby crying. And I just want to cry myself before the scene. It's horrific, especially in that little cell.
Yeah, there was a moment where I heard the baby cry, and I was like, it's not appropriate for kids. Why is there a child? It's part of the play. Right. I was like, I don't know, but someone's child's about to be seriously traumatized. Oh wait, they're dead. Okay, that's cool. That works. So God, well, that sounds like an absolute blast to do. And
thank you so much.
Thanks for speaking to me.